Did you just buy a new used car? I'm going to show you how to use Seafoam spray to clean the upper intake, including the valves. I have a 2008 Nissan Frontier. This process will work for many different makes and models. Seafoam has come out with a few products. Normal Seafoam can be put into the engine oil, the fuel, and also into the vacuum lines. But this spray makes it much easier to do this, to put it into the intake, clean the valves, and get everything all nice, especially if you have a high mileage old vehicle. Make sure you read the directions on the back of the can, but pretty much you just want to put it in to a hot engine. So make sure the engine has been warmed up. And then we need to find a place in the intake that we can safely put it. I wanted to put it up here near the throttle body, but the straw didn't go in very well. So I went over here towards the airbox past the mass airflow sensor. You do not want to spray this onto the mass airflow sensor. So the car was already driven for 20 minutes. I've put the straw into the intake. Now I'm going to put the spray on, just attaching the straw to the can. And I'm gonna do a few bursts, like 2 to 5 second bursts. I'm gonna keep doing that a few times, maybe 3 or 4 times. And then after those bursts, I'm gonna hold down the spray for about 10 seconds. The bottle says the engine dies, but mine doesn't doing this strategy. So I just hold it for 10 seconds and then quickly turn off the engine. And then you're gonna wanna let that heat soak for 15 minutes so that chemical can really dig into the dirt and grime in your engine. This is me holding it down and bursting it. So we're just gonna keep spraying. And normally when you take a vacuum line off, it's easier for the engine to die after adding the product. But in this case, the spray kind of goes on very effectively, and without a vacuum leak, the engine doesn't die. This should hopefully clear up a rough idle, hopefully let the engine run a little bit better. The first time I did this, I had a huge smoke show out of the tailpipe. We'll see if we get that. So after spraying it for that solid 10 seconds, after doing the burst, I turn the engine off. We're gonna let this heat soak for about 10 or 15 minutes. So the chemical's just soaking in on the valves and the whole intake system. I'm just tightening all the connections that I loosened to put the straw on. After you've waited 10 or 15 minutes, go ahead and start it up. And if you had a real dirty intake, you should see a bunch of crud, white smoke coming out of the tailpipe. But I did take it on a drive. I didn't get much smoke out of the tailpipe, a couple bursts. But after driving it for a while, I did notice an improvement in performance. Like I said, I did this about 4 years ago, maybe 40 or 50,000 miles ago, and I got a huge smoke show out of the tailpipe. But just a couple of puffs this time, but I will say the engine is running a lot smoother, especially at low RPMs and idle. So I don't really have any conclusive results other than to say that driving it does feel better. You wouldn't want to do this too much, as you could clog up the cats. But if you just bought a vehicle, I highly recommend doing this, as it'll help everything run better for the length that you own the vehicle. So if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions at all, please leave a comment. And any additional links, including the product used, will be in the video description.